Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity. My name is Jay and today I'm going to be looking at Stormtrooper basic builds for Star Wars Legion. If you are new to the channel or you've not hit the subscribe button, please do consider it as it really does help. And yeah, I have already done Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader basic builds. If you want to check them out, one of them will be in the corner right now. But when I was thinking about doing this video, I was like, are there really enough options for the Stormtroopers? Turns out, yes, there are. And I made way too many builds, but I've condensed them into ones that I wanted to talk about. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll talk about the ones I want to talk about. So let's have a look at the card. First and foremost, you get a unit of 4 for 44 points. You can take like an upgraded trooper unit, a trooper model with like a special gun. You can take an extra trooper. You can take gear, which is grappling hooks and targeting scopes, and you can take some grenades. Unarmed, you've got black dice. Your normal blaster rifle range 1 to 3 is white dice. You convert surges to hits on your attack, your movement 2. They've got 1 wound, 1 courage. They've got red defense dice, which is pretty good, and the basic infantry trooper units. And these are all the cards that they can take. Now, do forgive the DLT picture, it's not that great, but the DLT range 1 to 4, 2 red dice, impact 1. Pretty damn sweet for 24 points. The HH12, 3 black dice, 2 to 4. That is basically your rocket launcher. It's good against tanks, vehicles, that kind of thing, where the DLT is more for, it's more like a sniper rifle, even though you can shoot it at range 1. You can take an extra trooper unit. Then you've got your pick of grenades. Now, I think only concussion come with the core pack and maybe impact are coming later. One or the other is actually coming with the standalone Stormtrooper unit. Expansion. You can take grappling hooks and you can take targeting scopes. Now, targeting scopes, is it worthwhile? You've already got precise 1 on your card, which I didn't mention at the start, which I should have done. So that allows you to re-roll an extra dice when you aim. So you get 3 dice instead of 2 when you aim. Targeting scopes would put that up to 4. Is that really necessary? I think in most cases probably not. Now, grappling hooks are only 3 points. So for those of you wondering, expert climber basically means when you're clambering you don't roll your dice to see if you die. And it's like 1 in 6 that if you are clambering that you'll die. So for 3 points, I actually think they're pretty damn cost effective. Let's just get straight onto the builds. So the first build, it's not really a build. It's literally just an extra Stormtrooper and maybe a grenade. Now, if you're just taking an extra Stormtrooper or you're running just the Stormtroopers without any upgrades, then the goal there is probably for objective control. Your objectives require infantry unit leaders. The more unit leaders you have, the higher chance you can maybe get one to that objective, I guess is the plan. Whether or not that works out is a whole different kettle of fish. But for me, a basic unit would maybe be something like this with a grenade. A lot of people are favouring the impact grenade, I think, because I think the thought process is, vehicles actually more likely to come and try and get you. So you can just lob your grenade at it and really start disrupting your opponent's plan. Whereas a concussion grenade, you're probably going to have to go more towards your enemy. But I like the concussion grenades because if you are going towards an objective, it's more likely you'll find another unit in cover somewhere along the way. This 60 points, you've got your objective control, mild versatility if you take a grenade. I think you lose that versatility if you don't have one. Grenades are range 1, but very basic. There's not much to this. Stepping it up a level, the DLT 19. Now let's talk about that specifically. So it's 24 points, which is about the cost of 2 Stormtroopers. If they are 11 points, obviously it's a little bit more. So let's compare it to 2 Stormtroopers. Well, you lose 1 wound because you've got 1 model less. Fine. You gain an extra range because it's range 4 instead of range 3. And instead of having the 2 white dice you would have from 2 troopers, you've got 2 red dice. 2 red dice are the best dice you can get at the moment. And probably forever, but they're the best dice. And I think that's pretty damn cost effective. The fact that it's got impact 1, it's a cherry on the top kind of thing. And for me, this is like this is the all-rounder best, I don't want to say best build, but really like good option for a build. It just does a lot for you. You can pick off a vehicle, you can chip away at vehicles at range. When they get closer, you can just shoot all your Stormtroopers against them, see if you can get a wound on a vehicle. You might have a problem against a unit that you're shooting at that's in cover. Meh, because crits are always 1 in 8, basically, no matter what dice you've got. It's not too cheap at 79 points, but it's got objective control. If this is like, if you're taking 4 of them, I like it. It's one of the most, I think this may be the base build that most people use ultimately, but we'll see. You can take a grenade. I like on the other one, I'm like, it's not too cheap. On this one, I'm like, it's very expensive. And it's only 5 points different. It is only 5 points extra. But that blast would be a very interesting like combination with the impact. Again, though, that's sort of implying that you'll be moving around the board, and whether or not that's something you want to do. And if it is something you want to do, you might think that the impact grenades are actually better. It's completely up to you. I just really wanted to mention this combination because basically, if you shoot all your, if you use concussion grenades on the 5 troopers and you use the DLT, well, the DLT will also get blast. All attacks in the same pool are affected by the keywords of that pool. So the DLT would have blast, 2 red dice with blast. Oh, I just feel like it's a nice little, spicy. You know what I mean? It's nice. It's an all-rounder still. It does a lot. This unit is capable of. You could, if you really wanted to throw on grappling hooks, but I feel like at 87 points, you're just ballooning up the unit a little bit and going away from what the goal of that unit is. So for me, I would probably run the second one without the grenade, just to keep it a bit cheaper. But do keep in mind you can just balloon up your units a little bit too much. Number 4, a lot of people don't like the HH12. It's 3 black dice for the cost of about 3 troopers. It's cumbersome, so you need to. It gets exhausted as well, and you can't move when you fire it. So, it's got a few like fairly hefty negative traits. But what you would probably do here is you take maybe just one of these units, put them at the back of the board, let them aim, let them fire. Then next turn, exhaust and fire without using the HH12. The turn after, aim, fire, and just keep doing that and try and take out those vehicles. I'm going to run one of these for now at least, just to see how well it copes with anti-vehicles, because I mean it should cope well with vehicles because it's got impact 3. So it should be pretty good. But whether or not it's worth having this rather than just a couple of more units with the DL12, we'll have to wait and see. This is the cheap one of this version. I still say it's expensive, but this is the cheaper version. And for me, those are the 4 units that I think you're more likely to see for now. Now, you could add a grappling hooks easily onto that, fine. You could have grappling hooks onto this, but it's like whether or not the unit's actually serving the purpose you got the unit for. So don't take this build. I feel like this is way too expensive, but I just wanted to whack it on here just to show you, like, if you really are having difficulty with vehicles, you could run this. You will on average get use of your targeting scopes if you're sat at the back of the table. I just feel like it's too expensive, and you can probably get rid of vehicles a little bit easier. Even just a unit of these basic troopers with impact grenades, just suicide them in. I feel like that's possibly even better and more likely to actually kill them. I just personally wouldn't run this build, but I've whacked it in. It's expensive. Let me know if you're going to run something like this. It'd be very interesting to see if anybody's had any success with that. Then the last build here. This is sort of like it's this unit here is specifically designed to go and get to an objective, take some enemy infantry troopers away from those objectives by killing them with the concussion grenades. They're in cover, they're like, I'm safe, boom. Not if you've got concussion grenades. But you could very easily add on grappling hooks to say this, but run the impact grenades. Just changing out the grenades, but it's the same thing. Impact grenades, anytime a vehicle comes close to you, it's going to have to think twice whether or not it actually wants to get close to you if you've got impact grenades, because 5, you can impact, it stacks as far as we know as of right now, so you'd roll 5 black dice in this case, any of your hits would be converted to crits. Boom, that could really get rid of a couple of vehicles. So this one was designed to be anti-cover, but do keep in mind you've basically got your cheap options here. Feel free to whack on grappling hooks. They're actually not that bad in terms of cost effectiveness. I love the DLT. I think that is very cost effective. The problem here is that you start ballooning the points of your troopers, and you've got to fit that into your list as a whole. Whether or not you want cheap ones or you want more capable ones, that's going to be something you need to consider, especially as we get more and more units. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on some of these builds. Let me know what you've been running, if you've been playing any test games. Let me know what you're planning on running, if you are planning on running any of the Stormtrooper builds I've laid out, or any different ones. Obviously some of this is untried, like we haven't had the game rules very long. It might be in a month, 2 months time, I look back and I'm like, you know what, concussion grenades completely pointless. And I could see why, because concussion grenades require you to get into range 1. But the fact that this game is objective based a lot of the time, like you need to either get across the board, go get to an objective and take it away, I feel like you are actually likely to get use of your grenades. So for me, I would probably run a grenade on most of them. Unless you're going to sit at the back of the table with the HH12, but I wouldn't really do that, I don't think. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. As I said, do like, subscribe, have a most beautiful day, and goodbye. Bye guys.